Hi, it's Stacy with So Steady. We are so excited to go live today for you. And we're going to have Mendy sharing her embroidery collection with the log cabin series on our log cabin practice panels. So what you're going to see today is a series of practice panels that are all part of our log cabin collection. And Mendy's going to take you through how to use the EmbroideLeeDesigns to go ahead and place them on the practice panels and really identify how you can grow those designs into full quilt designs if you desire. So we'll be going through a variety of those, and then we're going to be finalizing the class today with how to just do a simple bind off on the practice panels and creating just a little table mat that you can use with those practice panels in your homes or wherever you'd like. So we're excited to get started. Again, we apologize for getting started a little bit later today. There was some confusion on the time start. So we're excited to have you join us. And don't forget, if you are one of our club members, Elevate Club Box members, then you do have access to this full class on the So Steady University. Today's class is 100% focused on the embroidery design. So if you're a Get It All Elevate Box member or an embroidery box member, then these videos will be accessible on your class. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to let Mendy take it away. Thank you.
Okay, everybody, Mendy with So Steady here. Today we're going to be doing the practice panel for the log cabin embroidery designs, and it's going to be block number 4A. On this particular project, we're going to do four designs in each quadrant. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go ahead and start prepping the panel right now. I've already ironed it. I put fusible batting on the back, and then I've got my backing on here. And now what I want to do is mark the center of this, because that's where we're going to be measuring from to find the center of each quadrant. Okay, so I already got my little tape measure out there, and I'm just using any straight edge I have available to me here. This happens to be our crosshair square that I'm utilizing in a new and unique way. All right, so I'm going to be marking this right here. That's my center line as we're getting ready to find our quadrants. And then I did not mark this side, so let's go ahead and do that. And so I'm just gonna go from top and bottom here. They're a little undersized from 12 inches, so I'm just making sure I've got the same markings on both ends. Here is that one, and here is that one. All right, so let's go ahead and mark this center here and move it over, I think. There we go. All right, so now I've got that and that. Let's go ahead and mark that right there. Okay, so that defines our four quadrants. Now what I have to do is find the center of each of those quadrants. So we can do it a couple of different ways. We can go ahead and do it the tried and true way, which is just taking this and marking 3 this way, and then going here to the edge to there and marking 3 this way. All right, so right there's the center of that one. Or we have our crosshair square, and this is a 6-inch. So I'm going to put that right here and get the 6-inch on the line that I marked and put it up at the top there. And let's see here. You like that? One thing that I do want to do is make sure that my designs are at the same level so that they're even, all the way around, which is another reason why I really like to use the crosshair square here. So let's see how that worked over here. So there, when I measured, so up at the top, I'm putting that 6-inch mark right at the very top there. My marking is right in the center. So what I am going to do, because I am trying to connect these, not connect them, but I'm trying to align the designs. So I am going to do this marking. I don't need to do my upper one. I do want to do my sideways one. Okay, and then we're going to come down over here and we're going to get that marking. Where's my 6-inch mark? Right there. And it's going to be right there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let's bring that in there and up a little bit right there. So I'm going to put that dot right there. And then I'm going to bring this, and this is straight, right? Yes, it is. I'm going to bring that down like that. Okay. I don't need to go on the outside because I'm trying to connect here. All right. So now I've got this one and my 6-inch mark. I'm going to bring down to my line right there. And my 6 inches down here lined up. We'll scooch that over just a little bit, like that. I like it. So we're putting my center mark there. We're gonna make that connection right there. Now I've got these two center points here, my 6-inch mark on the original markings we made. Right there, and right there. I like it. All right, so we're just going to make that marking. Okay, so now we are ready to go ahead and start hooping this for our embroidery. So let's go ahead and get that stuff out of the way. Let's get my hoop laid down. I am using called a, what is this called? It's called a grippy grid. And I do find that it's really helpful in assisting me with making sure that the hoop stays where it's supposed to when I'm hooping. And there we go. All right, let's go ahead and put this over here. All righty. Now, I should have made those lines because that would help me align to the grids that I've got here, but we can do it a different way too. So we're gonna do this quadrant up here is gonna be my first one. And we're going to bring it over to there. And I like where it's at. And I'm going to make sure that I'm straight on that line. Yes, I am. And I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, let's go ahead and get this in here. And you see that I oversized my backing so that when I am doing these quadrants, I'm going up into the corners to get them. And although I don't have this hooped, I've got my backing hoop, so I'm good. Okay, guys, give me a second and I'll meet you back at the embroidery machine and we'll take the next step. Okay, here we are back at the sewing machine. Let me get the hoop on here and get that locked in. Okay. And as I said before, we're doing the log cabin 4. I went in and selected the 6-inch, and then I upsized it just a little bit to 5.98, going both directions. Okay, so let's go ahead and do layout, move. I'm going to put my little laser beam on there, and we're going to scooch that over just a tidge. Okay, I like that pretty good right there. And I think we're good to go. All right, here is the first of 4. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, here's the first one. It's really pretty, I think, anyway. So I think you can see that pretty well right there. So we'll go back over to the hoop and get our second one hooped, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, here we are back with our second hooping, getting it on there, and let's go ahead and get this, let's go ahead and move, and we're going to get our little light on there. So we just need to move it up a little bit and over a little bit. There we go. And I think I like that. All right, let's go ahead and do that and hit go. Okay, second design on there. We're gonna go and do the third design. Let me get it hooped, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are with the third design. All I did was turn the panel the other direction now, so that excess is down at this end. Let me make sure that's not gonna get caught. Oh, I've got a little thread caught in the needle there. Okay, we've got that taken care of. So now let's go ahead and do the move. Put our laser beam on there, and we're gonna move over just one more bit, I think. There we go. Gonna come down one. I think I like that. All right, foot down, and here we go. Okay, now we've got 3 out of the 4 done. Let's have you go ahead. I'm going to turn this off and take you to the table with me. Okay, now we're back and we're ready to hoop our final quadrant. And I thought maybe I'd show you, hopefully you can see it better here now than when we were on the sewing machine. Let me try to get that in a little bit there. Okay, so now you have a little bit better view. I was pretty good. I'm going to be really honest with you how imperfect I am. But it's all about getting this thing squared up when you're hooping, as most of you would already know. And like, for instance, the one that is, let me pull this up so you can kind of see better. This one right here, I did this pretty good, but then it wasn't square this way, so I went into the white here. This was a great matchup with this one, but this very first one I did, I was a little too low, because you can see that here. Once again, I think it was the same thing where I was low on this side. So I think the markings are hypercritical in getting the perfect design and making sure that you're hooping with a lot of consciousness towards those markings. And, you know, there's always room for improvement with me. That's why it's a practice panel, right? Okay, so I'm just making sure that I'm square here. I think where I failed was I didn't make sure I was square on this side. This time I am. And let's make sure that I like that. And do I like this? A little farther out. There's where I'm not quite square comes into play. So when I squared that up, did I screw that one up? No, that still looks good. Okay, well, let's see if I can be a little more perfect this time. But I always kind of think that perfect is a little overrated. I always have perfectionist delusions, but I'd like to be perfect, but I'm not. Okay, and I see this I'm too low here. And I need to acknowledge that, pull up the hoop, and pull this up a little bit. All right, now let's see here. Oh, I like that a whole lot better now. Okay. And another way that we can test how good we really are is by taking a straight edge and putting it right up against here and seeing how this aligns with my marks, except that I'm on the wrong side. So let's go this side. And you guys can't see now, but I am not perfect. Still I'm not. So now we're going to take this and we're going to move this just a little bit more that way. All right. Now, let's try this again. Yeah, I think that is better. All right. Okay, I'll see you back at the sewing machine. All right, last quadrant. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get that locked and loaded. And we're going to go ahead and move. Get our little laser beam on there. Okay. And then down just a tidge. I think I like it. Okay, foot down. And this is just a 3-minute design, so it all happens pretty quickly. Well, I can tell you that I was rewarded by being a little more fussy and a little bit more picky with my hooping. So I'll meet you back at the table and we'll take a look. Okay, so here's the 4 designs that we just did. And I'll show you the good and the bad. This is the last one that we did, and I had the perfect connection right there. And overall, it was a little low to this one, but then you can see that up in here where this connection wasn't straight. So it all starts with the hooping and getting the project properly aligned, but overall, I'm really the only one, and you, that's going to know that. Because at the end of the day, after you get this all done, this is the overall design, which I think is really, really pretty. Let's see the front side here. So not quite as dramatic, but that's, you know, your quilting usually isn't the star of the show, right? Your piecing and your quilt top are. But I hope you like that. It was a fun project to do, quick and easy, and tons more designs on your USB stick for you to explore. And happy embroidering. Bye-bye. Hi everybody, Mendy Tippets here with Sew Steady. We're going to be working on another log cabin panel today, and we're going to be using embroidery to finish this. The file that you'll want to find on your USB stick is LC7, and we're going to select the 8-inch file for that pattern. So what I'm going to do is just do one in the center here. You could do, if you have a smaller hoop, you can do the 4 quadrants. There are partial designs also on your USB stick, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to use the one file. We're going to start by, I should tell you that I prepped the panel by ironing it, and I put fusible batting on here, and then I've cut my backing so that it's about 2 inches beyond the panel itself. That way, whenever I'm going ahead and hooping it, especially if I'm doing quadrants where I won't catch the edge, I will have enough to hold it into the hoop. Okay, my goal right now is to find the exact center of the area that we're going to be considering the part that we're going to do our design in, which is from here up. So let's go ahead and measure here, and we've got our center, which actually has just a little mark in it right there. So we'll mark there, and then we want to go from the top here to the bottom here. It's not quite 12, so we'll just make sure we have the same amount done there. So here we go. It's 6 inches, so that's actually up here. So then our center is right there. Okay, so now what I do want to do for hooping purposes is I'm going to take a crosshair square that we have. This is such a handy tool, and I am going to get it lined up on my center mark, and I want to make really sure that I'm straight because this is going to help me get this centered whenever I'm hooping. Okay, so here we go, and here we go. Those are the only 4 markings that I really care about. All right, Now what I did do was I selected that 8-inch file, and then I enlarged it to as large as it would go. So the actual dimensions on the design that we're going to be using, I'll get to whenever we go back to the sewing machine. So let's go ahead and hoop this panel right now. I'm going to go ahead and move a little bit of stuff here. And I do have a grippy grid that I love. It helps make sure that the hoop doesn't move around on me when I'm trying to get my placement right. So let's go ahead and move that. I like to use these main bolded lines as my center points. So here we go. Move that over just a little bit there. I've got my arrows here and my center there. Okay, so let's bring the panel over now. And I know I want to bring the center down right into there. And I know that this should be, yep, I'm just off a tidge here. All right. Now let's go ahead. I like this, and I think I need to pull that down just a little bit there. Okay, now let's go ahead and put the hoop on and see how we like that. I think I'm not perfectly in the center. I could adjust it, but you know, since I'm right here, let's just move it over a little bit. Okay, let's see how that is. Oh, you know, I'm going to move this up a tidge. Okay, now let's try. That still needs to go up just a little bit there to be even on that side. Yeah, I think I like it. I think I like it. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get that put on there. And then I'm going to meet you back over by the embroidery machine, and we'll do some embroidery here. Okay, we're back at the sewing machine now. I'm getting the hoop put on, and we will do some embroidery here. So let me go ahead and set that design, and then we're going to do layout. And I'm going to hit my little red laser and move. That was a pretty good job of hooping. It went right where it was supposed to go. Okay, so now we are ready set. Let's go ahead and put the foot down, and we'll get you a little bit closer view. And here we go. And it's only it's a 7-minute design. Okay, we're back at the table. Let's get the hoop off and see how we did. Okay, really pretty design. I love it. And you know what? Whenever I iron off these little markings, you're not going to really notice that it's just a little bit too far to the left. Easy to do. I seem to be able to be really good at that. And I think you can see the design on the back. The thread is more matched to that color, but the impression shows up. Really, really pretty design. I would love to do a whole quilt with that quilt pattern. I think that would be stunning. So hope you enjoyed this. Oh, I think I was going to give you dimensions that I enlarged that design to, which is 9.23 by 9.29. So, but I just took the 8-inch and grew it as much as it would grow. And I think that's really pretty in that area. So hope you enjoyed that. And you've got lots of designs on that USB stick. So just get some scrap fabric and get out and start playing. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Okay, see you next time. Hi everybody, Mindy with Sew Steady here, and today we're going to do our practice panel. It's going to be the log cabin embroidery files that we're using, and this is considered block number 4C, but it's log cabin LC1 is the design that you're going to find on your USB stick, okay? And this will be kind of a fun one. We're going to have to rotate the design per the picture here so that we kind of have the variation that we're looking for. All right, and we're going to be selecting the 6-inch design. And so we'll do 4 designs in the 4 quadrants. Okay, let's go ahead by doing some markings and trying to get ourselves squared up on this panel. The first thing that we want to do is find the halfway mark, both vertical and horizontal. And it's not quite, I mean, the dark edge is a little less than the 12 inches. So when I'm marking, I want to make sure I have the same number of marks on both sides, and I do. So let's go ahead and mark right there. Okay, and then we're going to do it down here. And I probably could have just done the top and the bottom, but belt and suspenders, you know? Okay, right there. And then, sorry, you're going to see my arm, but I don't know how else to do that. So here we go, and here we go, and right there. Okay, I'm going to get my ruler because it's an 18-inch ruler and it will mark that space pretty easily. Let me get that over here. And we're just going to put this up against here and draw our line. There's one thing that I've figured out repeatedly, because I have to figure things out repeatedly, is that straight marks for accurate hooping pay off. All right, now we're going to turn this and make our markings this way. Same song, second verse. Okay. And I'm assuming we're going to run into the same thing here. Just a little shy of the 12 inches. This one's closer here. All right. So I think for our purposes, that's going to be perfect. So it's just a little bit below this mark right here. Let's see if that works this way here too. There. This one's actually right on the marking. Okay, and let's see about down here. And yeah, this is two, so maybe my center one was not. We're just going to go from the two ends here. All right, so let's go ahead and mark this and this. Yep. All right. And you could use the panel lines too. I extend my marks, so I like to know that I'm starting from, you know, the basis with which I'm starting. Okay, so now we're going to come over here, and I'm going to use my crosshair square, which I have inconveniently put over here. There we go. All right. Now let's go ahead. And this is a 6-inch square. So I've got a 6-inch marking right here. So I'm going to line it up with the edge marks on this. And that's how I'm going to know where my center is. And I'm going to consider that my lines down the center and these lines here are the straight ones. So I'm going to go ahead and mark center right there. And then I'm going to extend this way and this way. And this way is for hooping and getting it straight. And we'll just do that too for hooping. Okay, so now we're going to come down here and we're going to do the same exercise. We're going to do it on all 4 quadrants. And that way I can match my line up straight down here too, which will help me make sure that my designs are in line. Okay, so I like that. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Cross that way. Across this way. And then we're just going to scooch over here and mark our 6-inch right on there. So that's what I'm looking at right there. And I've got my line here lined up. And it's a little low right there. There we go. And I'm going to pull that down just a tidge. Okay. I like that a lot. Okay, so there's that. Make that one. We're going to go straight up and do that one and out to the side. And you'll see why that's important. Now we're going to come up here. We're going to get that one lined up. And we're going to get that lined up. So now, just need to go up a little bit higher, get that square right there and right there. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so now we're ready to start hooping. So let's go ahead and put this over here. And we're going to get our hoop. I'm going to move my ruler now. Get this out where we can use it. Oops, sorry. All right. So this is a grippy grid, and it is by OESD, and it has really helped me with my hooping. I used to fight with my hoop to stay in place, and I'm no longer fighting. It's always good not to fight. Okay, so when I prepared the panel, I pressed it, I put fusible batting on it, and then I extended my backing around. And you'll see, especially when we're doing quadrants instead of the whole panel for the embroidery, that's kind of a big deal, because then I'm not catching the edge of the panel with my hoop, but I am catching the batting, so everything stays in place. All right, so what I've done is I put my centers here on this major crossroads. So my sides are here. This is my bullseye. And we're going to bring this panel down. And I can see over here that I'm in line with my line, and I can see that I'm in line there. What I can't see perfectly is if I'm in line here. Yes, I am. And how about down here? Yep, I like it. All right, let's see if we still like it when we put the hoop on. All righty. And what I have found, and it's not as applicable right now with this one because we're not doing an overall design, we're just doing quadrants, but I tend to hoop a little bit too far this way. So if I'm stretching the design to my hoop size, I end up having to rehoop because I didn't give myself enough room. So it seems to be a consistent problem I have. Okay, I think I like it. This looks like it's a little high, but it's high over here too. What I want to do is see if it's consistently high. So let's go ahead and put this here and this here. And I would say yes, it is consistently. There we go. Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and call that good. And we're going to go ahead and tighten this up. And then I'm going to see you back over at the sewing machine, at the embroidery machine, I mean. Okay, be right back. Okay, so I've got the hoop loaded here, but what I wanted to show you was the instruction page. So the very first design that we're doing the upper left-hand quadrant first. So we need to rotate the design so it's facing more left top, right bottom, and that isn't how it's oriented right now. So let's go ahead and hit layout, rotate, and we're going to do a 90 degree, and that's perfect. So we're going to go OK. And I did select the 6-inch, and then I tweaked the size up to 5.86 and 5.82. And that should be a big enough design for them to cover the area but not overlap. Okay, so now let's go ahead and hit our little laser beam there, and we're going to move and get that right where we want it. I like that a lot. Okay, we're going to hit that, put that down, and this is only a 2-minute design, so it'll go fast. Here we go. Okay, voila. There's our very first quadrant, and it came out pretty good. Now the test will be if I can hoop and get it all matched up perfectly. I hate the perfect word, but really pretty perfectly. All right, so let me stop you here. I'm going to go and hoop the other side, and I'll be right back. Okay, back at the embroidery machine, putting the hoop on right now. Let me get that shut. There we go. And let's go ahead and hit the laser beam there and move. Okay, I like that. And here we go. Okay, so there's number 2, but I have true confessions here, guys. I was supposed to rotate that so it went this direction, but you know, the truth of the matter is, I really love how it connected right here. It was perfect. So I think I'm just going to alter the pattern. But if you want to do exactly like the pattern goes, you're going to need to make sure you rotate that, okay? All right, here I am breaking the rules again. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back at the sewing or at the embroidery machine. Now what I do want to do is rotate this bottom one. So I'm just going to hit that. I'm going to do 90 degrees. So now I'm going to have this coming up like this, all right? And I think I'm going to do both of them that same way on the bottom, so there's some consistency. So I really have gone rogue with the design that's on the picture, but it just goes to show you can do the design many different ways, however you want to do it or however you do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit move, and we're going to get our little laser beam on there. I really like that. I do wear glasses, and sometimes what I see isn't what is really there, so the laser beam is helpful to me. All right, we like that. We're going to put down the foot, and here we go. All right, one more quadrant and then we're done. So let me go hoop this last one and I'll be right back. Okay, final quadrant. And I have decided that I am going to rotate this one and I'm going to orient it so that it's going the same direction as the upper left-hand quadrant. So it's going to turn this way. So 3 out of the 4 are going to have their designs all meeting in the center, because I just like that look a lot. So let's go ahead and rotate 90 degrees. There we go. And we're going to turn on our magic little, oh, it says I didn't lock this in. No, I didn't. Okay, there we go. Now let's turn on our little laser. Oh, look at that. It's just right on it without me even moving anything. That never happens. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and turn that down, and we are going to go ahead and go. Okay, guys, we're all done with our 4 quadrants. Let me get this back over to the table. I'll meet you over there. Okay, here is the final design that we did. And have I rotated that? Well, the design on the page of the instructions, oh, it's right here. Let me bring it up here. Would have had this one coming in this way, but I like it where they all kind of meet and make this big flower. And as you know, I forgot to rotate that one. But overall, you get the idea. It's a practice panel. That was my practice. But even so, I think it turned out beautiful. And I love that design. That's our flying bell curve template. It's, it doesn't look like much, but the designs really can have a big impact. And it's a little harder to see on the back because of the orange color with the orange thread, but the overall design is very, very pretty. Okay, well, have fun. Explore all the options that are available to you on your USB stick and quilt away. All right. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. Mendy Tippett here with Sew Steady. Today, we're going to work on the practice panel that you would have received in your subscription box. And we're going to be working on the block 4D design, which is this design here. And we're going to be doing embroidery. So as you can see, I got the panel out. I got it ironed. I put fusible batting on, and I've got my backing, and we're ready to start doing some embroidery. What I did do here, because I wanted to make sure as I'm trying to line up everything, is use my crosshair square, which we have, and I made my markings. Now there's 2 different ways that we could be embroidering this. Once you get into your USB stick, which will have all the designs that we are going to be using and many, many more, we could do it quadrant by quadrant, but I've opted just to do one whole big design here. So this is going to help us get this square in here and looking really good. So let's go ahead and take out the goodies in this little package so you can see everything we're going to get. If you're using ruler work or you want to do a combination of embroidery and ruler work, the instructions are here for that. And then the embroidery instructions are at the back. This shows the multiple layout of this particular one. So whenever you would do a quilt and you want to use this design, that's the overall look of the design that we're doing on a quilt. Okay, so and this is the Log Cabin lookbook. So this is filled with inspiration, and it has all the embroidery designs that are available here for you to take a look at for other projects. Here's the one that we're going to be doing today. And for our purposes with this, it is a 12-inch block. I don't have a 12-inch hoop, but I do have a 9.5 by 9.5. So I went ahead and used the 8-inch design, and then I grew it, and I'll give you the details of the specific size of the design, but I grew it to 9.26 by 9.30, I think. Anyway, that should be filling this area very nicely. But just tons of inspiration here, and lots of fun playtime. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I need to go ahead and get this hooped, and then we will be ready to rock and roll here. So okay, so now we're going to do some hooping. I've got this Grippy Grid by OESD, and I will tell you that it really has helped me make sure that when I'm hooping, I'm staying, my hoop is staying where it needs to stay, so I get better results. Okay, so I've got this lined up on my primary marks here. And then this is the other reason I like marking the panel, because then I can take the markings below and get this kind of centered where I want it. So I know that oops, let me get that out of the way here. I know that I am on the 9-inch marking here. And this is the center of this block. So I'm just visually kind of bringing it down to where I want it. And then I know that I need to move this over because I'm using this marking as my center. So I'm just going to drag that over a little bit. Whoops. Yep. The fabric moves just really easily. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and see how I like it once I get my hoop in here. All right. And I think I gotta bring this over a little bit here. Just a little bit this way. All right. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so let me tighten this up and I'll meet you back at the embroidery machine. All right, so let's go ahead and get the embroidery hoop in here. There we go. And so the design name is LC5, which is Log Cabin 5. And I selected the 8-inch design. I did save the design to my sewing machine, so I'm just going to go right there and right there. And it is 9.26 to 9 by 9.30. That's the size that I've selected for this. Okay, so we're going to do embroidery, and now we're going to do layout and move. I'm going to put my little laser beam on so I can really see where I'm going here. And I'm always just testing the edges of this thing. Okay. And let's go ahead and I need to go up a little bit. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and put the foot down now. And we're going to just let this thing go. And this is a 5-minute design. So let's see if we can get the camera a little bit closer in so you can see better. Using orange red. I'll have my show a little bit better on here. Okay, so let's take this off and I'll see you back at the table to look at the design. Okay, here we are back at the table and we've got the design done. Let me get this out of the hoop and then we'll take a look at this. So here's the front side, and it's hard for me to tell if you guys can really see that very well there. So let me flip it over on the back side where I think you'll be able to see it a little better. So there you go. There is our design, which is the 4D log cabin design for this panel. Quick and easy, and as I showed you at the beginning, the overall embroidery design on a quilt is just stunning. Okay, so now we're gonna just bind this. As you can see, I went ahead and I just cut the panel down to just the design that I wanted to frame. And I'm just gonna kind of use this as a table topper, on a table, maybe even a trivet occasionally. But for my purposes, more decorative at this point. So I'm taking the excess backing that I had back here, and that's what I'm going to be binding this with. So it's going to be pretty bright on the edges. I've got my adjustable ruler set to 2 inches. And let me make sure I'm got it. Let me tweak that just a little bit there. Okay, 2 inches. And so I'm going to cut enough of my excess here to get my, let's see, is this one bigger? Yeah, this one's bigger. Let's just use this one. This one's longer and I won't have to have as many seams then. Okay, so let's go ahead and do several cuts here and make sure this doesn't look quite straight. So I'm gonna, let's see here. I'm gonna move this out of the way and I'm gonna come a little bit more to the side of the camera and get it. I'm gonna trim this up just a little bit here. It was off just a tidge, and that's never good. Never good when your binding's off just a tidge. Okay, so I'm going to straighten this up. There we go. Now I'm going to cut my binding. So this will be 2, 4, 6. Okay, I know I need at least 4 and I only have 3 there. So let's go ahead and do another one. Here we are. Double it over. That looks good. All right. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these together, and I'll probably meet you over by the ironing station. All right. Be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and sewn my strips together. I'm going to be cutting off the excess here, and then we're going to be folding it in half and ironing, and then we'll be doing our binding. All right. And I did end up needing all 3 of them. All right, hold on just a sec. Okay, so I've now taken that strip of binding that I had, sewn it together. I went ahead and folded it in half, and I took my end that I'm going to start with and just folded it down. That's going to be the tucking area for my ending of my binding. All right, so now let's go ahead and move from the ironing table back to the sewing machine. We'll get this binding sewn on here, and this little project will be done. All right, now we're back at the sewing machine, and we're going to be attaching the binding. What I've done, I don't use pins or anything. That's not quite true. I use 1 pin when I come down to the very end, and I put it in diagonally so that I can make the corner. I'll just stick it in there right now. So I think you can see it right over here. Yeah, we're almost out of the view of the camera, so let me move that over a little bit there. Okay, so I have adjusted my needle. In my case, it's a right shift, and it's 2.0 over. I'm gonna ride my foot right on the edge because I don't want a huge seam allowance. So, and then I've given myself enough room here to be able to sew after I'm going to tuck the end in. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to go right down to the very end, but I'm not going to go past the end. So I'm going to go really slow. So now I'm just going to back this up a couple of stitches. I'm going to cut my thread. All right. Then I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to fold this back, fold it over. I know my hands are in the middle of this. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can do this so you can see. So my pin is right here. I've folded it over and then tucked it down so that my pin, let me show you here. My pin, this is not as easy as you think. Okay, so my pin is holding this back like that. Then I take it and I just push it right back like that. I'm going to take my pin out and I'm going to pull that out. I'll put the little pin right there just as a placeholder. And the reason I pull that out is that I don't want to double stitch, because I want that to make a nice clean turn for me. So now I'm going to hold that, I'm going to fold that straight, flat, and now I'm going to put my foot down, and it's almost to the edge, but not quite to the edge, about 1/4 of an inch off the edge. And now I'm just going to start stitching again. And I can take my pin out because I'll need it down here again. So we'll just put it right here as a placeholder. All right, so let's continue on here. I'm going to take this, put it at a diagonal again. There we go. Here we are. I'm going to slow it down because I don't want to go to the end. I'm going to back up, cut my thread, do my flip there. Okay, put my pin back in as a placeholder, and now I'm going to release that, come up to the top, almost to the very top, but not quite to the very top, and come down again. I'm going to get my pin out here. Okay. I'm going to put my pin back in right there at the angle. Come on down, almost to the end, but not. I think that's good. Let's back that up. Cut thread. Might not have gotten far enough on that one, but we'll see. All right, so now I'm going to take my pin out. Do the corner. Put my pin back in. Luck of the draw, I have one of my seams right on the corner. Not ideal, not ideal, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and come up here. We're gonna start there. And I purposely don't back stitch there because if for any reason I need to take some stitches out, that's where I'll take them out at. Okay, I'm going to get my pin. There we go. Coming down here, I'm going to put that diagonal pin there. All right. I used to spend hours pinning the bindings on, and it was never perfect. I always had excess or not enough. And so finally I just gave up on that and went to this method, and I've been so much more happy and so much better binding than I used to have. So, and I give Donna McCauley credit for my binding skills. she came and helped us when we hosted a quilt show in our local quilt show. And I got a personal lesson on her method of binding, and it has been life-changing. So I'm going to use one more pin here. Now we're getting to the point where we're going to tuck. So I'm going to take the tail of this that I had ironed down, and I'm going to get this pinned right where I want it. Okay. And now what I want to do is cut off the excess that I don't want, because we're coming to the end of the story here. So I need to get a little bit bigger scissors. 1 second. All right. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to slant this in the same direction that I have going on here. And I'm going to do it. The end of my thing is right there, meaning that where I folded it. So I'm going to go a little bit beyond that. And I always like to cut a little more, give me a little more. So it's a real bummer if you cut it too small. I have done that too. All right. So that tucks right in there, just like that. And I've got my pin up here. So this is the final edge of it. And let's go ahead and get that up by the end there. Okay. And let's go ahead and get started here. Okay. All right. A couple of back stitches right there. And now I'll meet you over at the ironing table, and we'll get this ironed out and then finally stitched. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, so here we are at the ironing station. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and press this side out. I'm just going to do it side by side. I do have some steam in my iron so that I can get a pretty good press on that. All right. And one more time here. Okay. So let me get this. Kind of ramrodded that a little bit there. All right, so now we're going to turn it, and we're going to bring these corners up, kind of like little pockets, if you will. Okay, so now we're going to just take this and we're going to start at one side, and we're just going to go around in a circle here. Okay, and now I'm going to do this. here. And then this. Oh, that steam was hot. Okay, let's do that corner right there. That's where I started. That's where I stop. All right, so now let's flip it over and see how our distance is. Oh yeah, looks good. Looking good. Good, good, good. Okay. So now, normally, if this was a quilt or something that I had done for somebody else, a prized project, let's put it that way, a prized project, I would be hand sewing the binding. But you know, on these quick down and dirty projects, I am going to machine stitch this. And I think you'll remember when we looked at the back of this that the thread matched almost perfectly. Well, actually, that was my bobbin thread. So this thread will be a standout on this yellow, but I'm okay with that. So yeah, but look, see, didn't that binding come out good? I mean, it's even. The corners were easy to get done, and they look good. Things I value: quick, fast, easy, and looks good. Okay, I'll see you back at the sewing machine. All right, so now I'm back at the sewing machine. I got this underneath my foot, and remember that I put the needle to the right. On my machine, it's 2.0. And by doing the same thing that I did when I took the seam, putting the binding on, I'm going to ride my foot on the edge of the binding, and that should take it just about to the crack of the seam. Actually, no, it's not. So let's do that over again. So I am going to reduce my needle placement to 0.50. I think that's going to be more what I'm looking for. Okay, let's do that. Let's try where the needle goes this time. Yeah, that's what I want. 0.50. Okay, so here we go. No pins, no nothing. My press job is what's keeping it in place. Let me get you a little closer so you're not seeing as much of my hand. All right, so now we're going to creep up on this corner. And right when I get to the seam, that's too much. Let's back up one stitch. There. There we go. All right, so we're going to make the corner. And there we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and put that down. Oh, I brought it up manually. Okay, here we go. Okay. Gonna go real slow here. Look, Mom, no hands. Okay, now we're gonna make that turn. Put the foot down. Okay. Make sure that's seated properly there as I make that turn. Okay. And now, last but certainly. All right. So now I'm back at the sewing machine. I got this underneath my foot. And remember that I put the needle to the right. On my machine, it's 2.0. And by doing the same thing that I did when I took the seam, putting the binding on, I'm going to ride my foot on the edge of the binding, and that should take it just about to the crack of the seam. Actually, no, it's not. So let's do that over again. So I am going to reduce my needle placement to 0.50. I think that's going to be more what I'm looking for. Okay, let's do that. Let's try where the needle goes this time. Yeah, that's what I want. 0.50. Okay, so here we go. Right, no pins, no nothing. My press job is what's keeping it in place. Let me get you a little closer so you're not seeing as much of my hand. All right, so now we're going to creep up on this corner. And right when I get to the seam, oh, that's too much. Let's back up one stitch. There. Oh. There we go. All right, so we're going to make the corner. And there we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and put that down. Oh, I brought it up manually. Okay, here we go. Okay. Gonna go real slow here. Look, Mom, no hands. Okay, now we're gonna make that turn. Put the foot down. Okay. Make sure that's seated properly there as I make that turn. Okay. And now, last but certainly not least. And now, last but certainly not least.